Welcome to Healing Horizons with Saima, where we explore the pathways that lead from pain to purpose. And today we are joined by our amazing guest, Dr. Crystal T. Harrell, a Yale PhD, best-selling author, TEDx speaker, and U.S. Army Medical Service officer who has turned her life's challenges into a mission of empowerment. From public housing to public health leadership, Dr. Crystal embodies resilience and the healing art of becoming one's authentic self. So, Crystal, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much, Saima.
You're warmly welcome, and I'm really looking forward to make this a meaningful experience for you, Crystal.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Crystal, your journey from humble beginnings to Yale and beyond is truly extraordinary, I must say. So, can you share that what inner force or mindset helped you rise through those early challenges?
Yeah, so there are definitely so many challenges on the path, but one thing that never changed was the vision for what it was that I wanted to create. So I come from a very small town in rural Alabama, which is a southern state in the United States. And there wasn't much happening there. I didn't really have a lot of examples of people, leaving the hometown and really, going after their dreams. But for some reason, I just always had a vision of doing that. And my dad was my encouragement before I lost him when I was 11. So I would say the vision and truly believing that there's a chance for you to achieve that goal, to accomplish that vision. And that kind of sets the tone for your journey, because when you feel like giving up, there will be a glint of hope that comes through and someone will show up who will help guide you. Like everything that I've ever accomplished, whether that was getting scholarships or even getting accepted into Yale, there was someone who was on my path who helped encourage me to take that next step. And that's because of the vision, I believe.
That's such a powerful reflection, Crystal, and
Mm.
I really appreciate how openly you shared that. It's inspiring to hear the mindset and determination, that fueled
Yeah.
your journey and the way you have turned those early challenges into a foundation of for growth and purpose really resonates. Like it's a reminder that resilience isn't just about pushing through, but about transforming struggle into strength. And thank you once more for giving us that glimpse into what truly drives you.
Thank you. I love that you said that that you noted the transformation, because that is very powerful.
So, did resilience come naturally to you, or did it evolve through experience?
I would definitely say that there was signs of resilience as a child simply because of how I was raised. Like I mentioned, being one of 10 siblings. So I'm the seventh born child out of 10 siblings. So with that, you kind of have to be resilient when you're growing up around so many sisters and brothers. So I had to really learn how to stand up for myself. I wasn't the best at it. I was definitely a sensitive child and always crying whenever I was teased. So I wasn't the best at resilience as a child, but I think it was just everything that happened in my childhood, from watching a parent suffer from a terminal illness and eventually losing a parent, and witnessing another one really deal with the aftermath of that, like dealing with grief. And I think like over time, I started to recognize that if I was going to make it out of my situation, if I was going to accomplish my vision for going to school and getting out of, the situation I was in, my family situation, that I was going to have some type of resilience, and I was going to have to keep showing up even when things got tough. So I would say resilience is one of those things where it definitely strengthens over time. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. But I believe that we all have, whether, it doesn't matter where it is in our development level, but we all have some sense of resilience. But the more we use it, the easier it begins to become for us to really tap into that when we need it most.
Firstly, I would say that growing up as the seventh of 10 children must have taught you so much patience and finding your own voice within a big family. And it really shows that how resilience can be, shaped by our environment and experiences, and how those early lessons can become the driving force behind everything we achieve later in life. And it's really inspiring to see how you have carried that strength forward and turned it into such an impactful journey, Christian.
Oh, thank you. I truly love your kind words as well, because I didn't always see it that way. It was hard going through it.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Now, you have blended science, service, and spirituality into your mission. So, how do this world come together in your approach to healing and leadership?
Yeah, so I love this question because I don't think I've ever reflected on it in this way. But I've always been, so I grew up in a very religious and spiritual household. So I've always kind of been aware of spirituality to a certain extent. But as I got older, I started to have a lot of questions. And when I started to going through the educational system, I recognized that there were methods to answering these questions, and scientific research was one of those ways that I was able to answer a lot of the questions I had. And so I kind of merged both of those worlds because I started learning the concept called innate health. And that was something I studied during my doctoral program, which is essentially the concept that our natural essence is health and wholeness, and that we're simply on a journey to returning to that. So anytime disease or illness arises in our body, it's a signal to us that we're out of alignment with something, or that something in our environment is threatening our health. So it was just really cool to see that science and spirituality were actually complementing each other through my research, and they actually don't contradict each other to a certain extent. So I think that it's a natural connection, but it takes an open heart and an open mind to really explore that connection. And now I would say that we have more scientists and more researchers willing to explore that connection. And this is an exciting time to be in when it comes to that as well.
The way you, as you said, you blend together all of those really highlights that how healing and leadership can be both evidence based and deeply human, according to me. And it's really it's a profound way to look at it and to hear that how you bring heart and purpose into spaces that often focus only on data or outcomes. Like, I would say that your approach reminds us that the true impact comes when, like, intellect and compassion work hand in hand. When we lead
Yeah.
not just with knowledge, but with meaning and empathy. And that's
Yeah.
such a profound way to look at it.
Yeah. I love that you said that because, like, the more you, I guess, like, the more I started to learn and the higher I started to go in education, the more I realized that, like you said, a lot of people were just so focused on the data and the numbers, but that data, those numbers represent real people. They represent human souls, human life. So I think it's important to go deeper into the numbers. And like you said, use that sense of compassion and that sense of intuition when you're dealing with things that are exploring human life.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with that. So, do you think modern wellness often misses that balance between data and deeper meaning?
Absolutely. But I would say we're getting much closer. Like some of the stuff I started to see in my research was that these concepts have been around for a very long time. It's only until recently that people have started to pay attention to what the science and what the evidence is really revealing about our spiritual nature. So I think that it's definitely, we still have a long way to go, but we've definitely come a lot further than a lot of people would give credit to. So we are making a lot of progress in that area.
That makes sense. And like you said, that I mean, I really appreciate your optimism, Crystal, that while we still,
Mhm.
have a long way to go, progress is definitely happening. It's really encouraging to hear that way, that the conversation around wellness is evolving, like becoming more holistic
Yeah.
and inclusive of both science and spirit. And your perspective, Crystal, really underscores that growth is a journey and that finding true balance takes time, awareness, and continued intention from all
Mm.
of us.
Yes, I love that you said that. Wow, this is really cool. I love these conversations because sometimes you can talk about it with yourself when you research it, but like just to have a mirror, just to be able to speak with someone about this as well and have these reflections. This is truly insightful for me too. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're warmly welcome. Yes, so do I. I really enjoy and love to have these conversations. Yes. Now, like you often speak about emotional well being and self discovery. So, can you share that? How do you define true self discovery in a world that constantly tells us who to be?
Yeah, so some of the most ancient wisdom we have is know thyself. And I truly believe that I think it was Aristotle who said to know yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. And it's true to me because if you don't know who you are, then you leave the world to tell you who you are. And that never feels good, right? And I think like just, taking it back to my own personal journey of self-discovery, mine really started intentionally back in 2018 when I was at the lowest point in my life. But on paper, everything looked good because I was in a very prestigious grad school program. I had all this scholarship money. And on social media, I looked very happy, but I was miserable. I was still looking at life through the lens of a traumatized child and dealing with the grief of losing a parent. And that was very hard because I didn't have the tools that I needed to help me work through a lot of that. And I was so confused on who I was and what I wanted out of life. And so deciding to start that journey of self discovery really saved me because now it's 7 years later and I'm in a totally different mind space, a totally different awareness because I know who I am. And each day you get closer to knowing more about who you are because we're always evolving. We're always changing with life experiences. And so just taking that time to reflect on who you are. Like I've had a journal since I was in grade school. And sometimes I go back and read some of my journal entries and I'm like, geez, I can't believe I was like this, or I can't believe I said this, or like, man, I was so broken or I was so close to giving up. Like I was reading through some of my journals because I recently moved. And so I kind of dug them out of storage and I'm just reading back on some of my journals from college and I was so close to quitting. It's ridiculous how close, how every other journal entry was saying how I want to quit. So it's funny because I forgot about that. I forgot about how tough it was. I forgot about the challenges that I faced after graduation because I maybe chose to forget. But the thing is, like, the journey of self discovery brings you closer back to remembering who you are. And that's the most important thing I feel like we can do as human beings is know who we are, articulate who we are, and be honest about who we are.
That's such a thoughtful and grounding perspective, Crystal. And the way you describe self discovery feels really authentic. It's, less about striving to meet external expectations and more about reconnecting with who we already are at our core, the way, like you
Mhm.
explained. And in a world filled with, noise and pressure, chaos, mess, your definition really reminds us that growth begins with stillness, honesty, and self acceptance. And again, it's a powerful message about returning to our truth rather than, chasing someone else's version of it.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. And it takes time. The journey of self-discovery is never ending, but you get better at feeling at home in your own body. And that to me is the most significant thing that has ever happened. Like that's the greatest achievement I can feel in myself is knowing that I love being around me. I love the way I speak to myself. I just love being who I am because that wasn't always the case. I once hated who I was because I didn't know who I was at my core essence. So yeah, it's a beautiful experience to go on that journey.
Yes, those are really beautiful words indeed. Yes. So, what's one question we can all ask ourselves to start reconnecting with who we really are?
Yeah, it's the most basic question. Who am I? And as you start to ask this question, maybe the answer won't come immediately. Like it's an unfolding process. Like imagine a rose, blossoming. Like that is the journey of self discovery. Like we're started off at these tight buds, and as we start to question, like who am I? What's important to me? Do I actually find this meaningful? Do I really want to do this career, or am I just doing this because it looks good on paper? Like the more we pull back these layers, the more beautiful we become internally. And we can share that connection with our families because it's very difficult to feel connected and grounded in a community if you don't feel grounded and connected within yourself. It starts with you, but you have to know who you are. And so ask that question, whether you're journaling about it, whether you ask it out loud, or you can even ask it within yourself. This is a very intimate relationship with yourself. So you can ask it in any way that feels authentic to you. But I just ask it. I've always asked, who am I? And I've always sat with that question and reflected on that question.
That's such a beautiful analogy, Dr. Crystal. Like, I love how you describe self discovery as, peeling back layers, much
Yeah.
like a rose revealing its true essence beneath the petals. And it's a
Mhm.
powerful reminder that the journey inward isn't about adding more to ourselves, but gently uncovering what's already there. And your reflection on the simple yet profound question, like you said, who am I? It really captures the heart of transformation and authenticity.
Yeah, because transformation doesn't have to be complicated. It really doesn't. It can be very simple.
Absolutely, yes, that's powerful. Now, your student well-being project is like transforming young lives. So, what inspired that initiative, and what changes have you seen in those who participate?
Yeah, so the Student Wellbeing Project is essentially a virtual community initiated to help students not only achieve their academic goals, but also feel emotionally and mentally supported as well. And it was kind of Honestly, I've been helping students since I was 16. It was the first job I got as a tutor. I was tutoring math and science to middle schoolers. And I've just always loved helping students. It's something that has come naturally because students will ask for help, and I don't mind helping. Anything that I've experienced or any information I know, I don't mind telling you because someone helped me. And so it's my way of kind of giving back. And I've always worked with students one on one, but the Student Wellbeing Project was my attempt to bring the students together so that they can feel a sense of community because social connection is one of the most important things when it comes to feeling like we have a sense of emotional wellness. And so that was the basis of that. And what I've seen is that students actually do feel supported. Like they come, they ask questions. I host office hours, and basically they can just ask me anything, like whatever it is that you want to know, like ask me. It doesn't even have to be school related. It can be career related, or like, have you thought about what happens when I graduate? Or like, I ask students, what do they really want out of life? So it's really like a chance for students to come and not only get academic support, but feel like, okay, I'm also supported after I graduate, because college is just a stepping stone. Like you go to college to get somewhere else. It's not the end all be all. So there is life after graduation. And I want to help students start thinking about that.
That makes sense. And hearing how your student well-being project is creating real change and empowering young people to understand themselves from a deeper level is so moving. And I would definitely say that the passion and purpose behind your work really shines through. It's clear that the initiative, like this initiative, isn't just about academic growth, but about also nurturing emotional resilience and confidence. And it's really amazing to see that how your vision is helping the next generation as well build healthier and more balanced foundation for the futures. That's truly inspiring.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that because I feel like I could be doing more. It's not, it's new. So I started it 6 months ago, this month, and there's still so much that I would love to do. I wish that there were more students involved because I know it's truly helpful, but I'm just trying to figure out how to put myself on camera, maybe start, that's why I started doing interviews, is because I want more students to know that this resource is available for them. And I don't know if I'm doing enough when it comes to talking about what I have to offer.
Oh, you're absolutely doing enough. Like, I would say never doubt your self-worth. And yeah, for sure. Like, you too know this, that good things take time. And but still,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're doing enough. It's more than enough. We should never doubt our self-worth. You're doing more than enough.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. It's definitely a belief. Like I said, I still work on myself. So that's one of those things that I still work on.
Like you have achieved so much, author, officer, leader, yet your work centers on inner peace. So what practices help you stay grounded amid all the achievement?
Wow. Journaling. Journaling has been a staple in my life because it helped me deal or cope with a lot of the emotions I was feeling after I lost my father. So I've always journaled since I was like 5 or 6, like since I was able to write, because I asked my dad to teach me how to read and write before I started school so that I could have a journal. Like I love writing so much. But after he passed away, it was just something I did almost every day because it helped me really make sense of what I was experiencing. And so it's even now, like I'm in a different phase of my life or a different chapter of my life where I do feel a lot more grounded in who I am, but I still journal because it helps me maintain that space of inner peace. It helps me still reflect on where I am. And even, like I said, the journey of self-discovery is never ending. So I'm always going to be exploring the depths of my soul, the depths of my spirit, and just wanting to know more about who I am and how I'm serving my community. That's so important to me. So journaling helps me stay grounded.
I love that. Journaling is truly a simple, yet profoundly powerful way to stay grounded. And I
Yeah.
too, love journaling. Like there's something about putting thoughts on paper and that
Yeah.
brings clarity and calm, especially amid a busy life, and hearing how you use it to center yourself really underscores that how even small daily practices can sustain inner peace while navigating so many meaningful roles. Do you ever find balance through, letting go rather than doing more?
That is exactly where I am right now on my journey because I'm so used to um, going through academia. Like it's always about what you achieve, right? It's all about whoever accomplishes the most, more publications, more achievements, more awards. So I came from this background where I felt like my self-worth was deeply tied to what it is that I produced. And since graduation last year, I've really sat down and I've decided to focus more on how I feel internally, not just about what I achieve, but just letting go of everything that I thought I had to be and everything I thought I had to do to feel worthy because there's a balance to it, right? Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't achieve things in life and that you shouldn't have goals, but always check your intention behind it. And this space in my life has allowed me to slow down and check my intention behind everything that I hope to accomplish. And so it's helped me let go a lot. Like, some goals remain the same and some goals have changed. And speaking more has always been a goal, but I never had the time to when I was in school. So that has been my greatest intention now is just speaking about the journey and hopefully being a source of inspiration and hope to other students.
That's really an insightful perspective. And finding balance through letting go really highlights the power of release, I would say. And it's a reminder that sometimes peace and clarity come not from adding more, but from, creating space within ourselves. And your approach shows that how intentional surrender can be as transformative as disciplined action. So, like building on that, I'm really curious. How do you personally decide what to release and what to hold on to in moments of overwhelm?
Yeah, so it always comes back to the way it feels in my body. So if something is causing me anxiety or if something feels stressful to an extent. So one example I guess I could give is, let me see. But there's been so many things coming up that needed to be released. I guess like before graduation, I always thought that I had to have a high paying corporate job. I thought I had to have like one of those prestigious titles, you know, and since graduation, when I did obtain that, I was so miserable. I was not aligned in who I was because everything I was doing was rooted on me. It was, what can I get? How much money can I make in this job? Does this title look good on my LinkedIn? Like it was so ego based that it was causing me to be disconnected from my soul, from my spirit. And so I let that position go, which was the hardest thing I think I ever did because that caused a huge tower moment in my life. But so much beauty was born out of that. And so now it's like, because I was able to let that go, it made space for things that feel aligned. And so I feel more connected with the life that I'm building now because I have time and space to do interviews like this. Now, it feels a lot more grounded when you let go of things that are causing you to feel disconnected from yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. And yeah, that's indeed grounding. And it's incredible that how thoughtful discernment plays such a central role. And it really shows that letting go isn't about giving up, but about making room for what truly matters, like both in our personal life and in our leadership. It's a lesson I would say, in clarity, presence, and intentional living.
Yeah, because I mean, I got a better leadership role that was more aligned with the skill set that I wanted to learn after I walked away from that position. So you really do make space for things more in alignment with who you are when you let go.
Absolutely, that's a wonderful reminder. So, Dr. Crystal, you reminded us that healing is both science and soul, both grit and grace. And to everyone listening, may you turn your challenges into chapters of growth and meet yourself anew on the other side. Until next time, keep expanding your own healing horizon, one choice, one brave act at a time.